The bye week's over, and what a bye week it was. Let's roll the intro and get straight into it. So I won't dwell on this too much because everybody has had their opinion on this Jaden Stevenson situation, but I just thought I'd give my quick 2 cents in regards to it. He was super irresponsible for placing bets, not just in general, but on Collingwood as a team, on himself to kick a bunch of goals and whatever else happened. Suspended for 22 games, 12 suspended, so it's a 10-game ban, won't be back till the week of the first final if we make it, and he's copped a $20,000 fine. He's such a young kid and he made a bad decision 3 times, but I feel like he'll come back fitter and more determined to prove not only Collingwood right, but everyone else wrong. Also, I just want to mention the leadership. Everyone's talking about this culture, with the goalie and then with this Stevenson thing and etc, etc, etc. But that leadership of Jeremy Howe to tell him, just go reporter, go tell Walshy and then see what happens. It's second to none, and that's what makes Collingwood a great club. Do I think the sentence was too harsh? Yes. It's the biggest sentence handed over for something like this, but the AFL needed a scapegoat, and they were never going to scapegoat one of the betting companies that funds them millions and millions of dollars a season. So round 4 was the last time we versed the Doggies. Arm wrestled throughout the game. We had a bit of a lead. They came back a little bit. We ended up winning by 14 points. This was a game that Grundy asserted his dominance as the best ruckman in the league, won the hit-out 60-2 and took along 17 hit-outs to advantage. I remember this game particularly well because it was such a boring first half that I was literally falling asleep on the couch. Nothing was happening. There was no run. It wasn't exciting. Lack of goals. Inaccuracy in front of goals. So hopefully we don't get a repeat this weekend. This was also the game where Main played his 200th but got injured in the first couple of minutes and he was out for a few weeks. Phillips was our best midfielder, 29 disposals, 2 goals and over 500 metres gained. He gave us that run that we were lacking in that first half. The Doggies played Carlton last week and they looked to be strolling into a win, 34 points up during the second quarter before Cruiser kicked the goal, wrestled momentum back and they went into halftime with 21 points up. Carlton came out of the blocks in the second half and you could see that it rattled the Doggies, took them by surprise and they gave up the lead. Carlton were leading by 7 points throughout that first quarter before the Bulldogs wrestled momentum back and ended up winning by 3 points. Dunkley led the way for the Bulldogs and for that whole game, 41 disposals and 10 tackles, followed by McRae with 37 disposals. Inaccuracy in front of goal and Charlie Curnow nearly prevented the Bulldogs winning that game, and they'll hope that that doesn't repeat. Not that Charlie Curnow can kick 7 goals against them because we're playing them, but you know what I'm saying. Collingwood had the bye last week. Week's rest, a little bit of R&R. The Stevenson things happened, but we'll move on, we'll regroup, and we'll come out firing. So the Bulldogs bring in Shaki, Durea, Richards, and Smith. They come in for Gardner, Dale, McLean, and an injured Liberatore. Some good ins for the Bulldogs. Shaki, although we haven't seen him at his best, he's a good forward, high marking forward. Durea provides the run for them, an ex-Hawthorn guy, and we know how good Ed Richards is. Shame that he's not, following his grandfather's footsteps in the black and white. So there's a bit of contention about who Collingwood were going to bring in for Stevenson. Our extended bench included Reid, Crocker, Dacos, Lynch and Quaynor. But they've gone for Reid, so we're finally going to see the 3 tools of Checkers, Cox and of course Reid in our forward line. Hopefully it works out because that's actually a really good 3. Reid didn't do anything wrong to get dropped and it's going to be great to see him work with Cox finally. So I believe that the Bulldogs will put up a good fight, as everyone does against Collingwood. They want to prove themselves from last week because that game wasn't great for them, letting the bottom place Carlton run over the top of them in the end, and they only won because of their inaccuracy in front of goal. They're quick through the midfield, especially bringing in Durea and Richards, and they're also quick off the half-back line with Suckling and Johannesson running off there and providing that run for them. If we're to win this, we need to take advantage of Grundy's ruck dominance. That 17 hit-outs to advantage that we had last time, we've got to maybe double it or at least get in the high 20s in regards to it. Like I said in my mid-season review video, we're not a great clearance side and we're not a great tackling side. But if we can get those clearances, we won't need a tackle, we can keep the possession and they'll be the ones that will be chasing us. But if it goes the opposite way, much like teams have done to us when their ruckman hasn't been dominant, we will be on our back foot and we really need to take our tackle count up to the high 60s and we actually have to stick tackles. So with these three big tools, it's going to be how well we gel. Steve-O is a big out. We know how great of a goal sneak he is. We know how great he is with the ball in hand as well. But bringing Reed back in was a good decision. Reed, Cox and Mychek in the forward line. Will Hoskin-Elliott there as well. Varco there as well. Callum Brown. It's going to be a fun night seeing them gel. But in saying that, the Bulldogs backline are going to be tight in the contest because they're not going to want a repeat of Charlie Curnow's 7 goals. So my prediction and big call, I feel like Collingwood are going to win. We're going to win by 28 points. My big call is that Grundy's going to have over 50 disposals, 2 goals and over 5 tackles. So that's it for me, just a quick preview of the Bulldogs game coming up. I'll see you Monday for the review video. In the meantime, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll swoop you later.